marriage cannot go on.
Proceed.
I cannot proceed without some inquiry as to what has been said.
I'm in a condition to prove my allegation. An insuperable impediment to this marriage exists.
Please explain, sir.
It consists in the existence of a previous marriage. Mr. Rochester has a wife now living.
Who are you?
My name is Briggs. I am a solicitor of Gray's Inn, London.
And you would thrust on me a wife?
I affirm and can prove that on the 20th of October, 1820, Edward Fairfax Rochester of Thornfield Hall was married to my sister, Bertha Antoinetta Mason, daughter of Jonas Mason, merchant, and of Antoinetta Mason, his wife, a Creole, at St. Michael's Church, Spanish Town, Jamaica. A record of the marriage will be found in the register of the church. A copy is appended to this statement. Signed, Richard Mason.
That, if a genuine document, may prove I have been married, it does not prove the woman therein mentioned as my wife is still living.
She was living 3 months ago.
How do you know?
I have a witness to the fact, whose testimony even you, sir, will scarcely controvert.
Produce him or go to hell.
Have the goodness to step forward, sir.
What have you to say?
Edward, please understand.
I again demand, what in the devil's name have you to say?
Mr. Rochester, do not forget you are in a sacred place. Sir, Mr. Rochester may have been married, but are you quite sure that his wife is still living?
She is in Thornfield Hall.
Impossible. I've served this parish for many years. I've never heard of a Mrs. Rochester at Thornfield Hall.
No, by God. I took care none should hear of it. Or of her under that name. Wood, close your book. Take off your surplice. John Green, leave the church. There will be no wedding today. Come, all of you. Follow me. How is your charge today?
Oh, a tolerable today, sir.
There, gentlemen. There you see my lawful wedded wife. Look at her. Look at her! And this is what I wished to have. This young girl who stands so grave and quiet at the mouth of hell. Bigam is an ugly word. I meant to be a bigamist. But fate has outmaneuvered me, or Providence checked me.
Amen.
Aye. Amen! Bertha Mason is mad. She comes of a mad family, idiots and maniacs through 3 generations. Her own mother among them. As I found out after I had wed the daughter, for the whole family was silent upon the secret before. Including her brother, my friend, Richard Mason. Hey, Richard! Never fear. I'd soon strike a woman as you. Now judge whether I had a right to break the compact and seek sympathy with a human being. This girl knew no more than you. She thought all was fair and legal. She never dreamt she was going to be trapped into a feigned union with a defrauded wretch. Now judge me. And remember with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. Off with you now. I must attend to my wife.
Madam. Madam, you are of course cleared from all blame. Your uncle, if indeed he should still be living, will be glad to hear of it.
My uncle? What do you know of my uncle?
Mr. John Eyre, with whom you lately and for the first time entered into communication. You wrote to him of your intended union with Mr. Rochester.
What of it? How do you know Mr. Eyre?
Mr. Mason is acquainted with Mr. Eyre and happened to stop off at Madeira to recruit his health. He called on him and Mr. Eyre spoke of you and your forthcoming marriage to a Mr. Rochester of Thornfield. Mr. Mason, in great distress, revealed the true state of matters. You know your uncle is confined to a sick bed.
No, he never wrote of it.
Alas, he is unlikely ever to rise from it. He was much alarmed and implored Mr. Mason to hasten back to England to save you from the snare into which you had fallen, referring him to me for assistance. I am thankful that I was not too late, as doubtless you must be also.
That is all, sir.
I am certain your uncle will be dead before you could go to him at Madeira. I think you'd better remain in England until you hear from Mr. Eyre. Or from me.
Thank you.